So we're given f of x is the square root of 1 plus x squared. And we want to find the Taylor polynomial of second degree to approximate the integral. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this as 1 plus x squared to the 1/2 power. Because this is a second order Taylor polynomial, that means I'm going to have to go up to two derivatives. Okay, so the first derivative is just using the chain rule, bringing down the exponent, keep the inside the same, subtract 1 in the exponent, multiply by the derivative of the exponent, of the derivative of the inside, and then we have 1/2 and 2x, that's just x, and then 1 plus x squared to the negative 1/2 power. For the second derivative, I'm going to take the derivative of that. So I'm going to treat this as two separate functions, which is going to require me to use a product rule. The derivative of x is 1 times the second, plus, now the derivative of the second is chain rule again, and then I'm going to multiply by the first function, x. Okay, so this is just a derivative of the second function. And I'm not going to bother simplifying this because what I want from this is to get f of 0, f prime of 0, and the second derivative at x equals 0. So if I plug in x equals 0 in for f of x, I get the square root of 1 really, which is just 1. If I plug it into f prime, notice that f prime has a factor of x. So that's just going to be 0 times something else, which is just 0. And then if I plug in the second derivative, the second term has a factor of x. So that's going to be 0. And so I'm only going to plug it into the first term to get 1 to the negative 1/2 power, which is just 1. Okay, now I want to combine this. So we know for the Taylor polynomial, for a second degree, we're looking at f of 0 over 0 factorial times x minus 0 to the 0 power plus f prime 0 over 1 factorial times x minus 0 to the first power plus f double prime 0 times x minus 0 to the second power all over 2 factorial. I'm going to plug in what I have. F of 0 is 1. 0 factorial is 1. So I'm just going to have just 1 actually, because x to the 0 is also 1. So this is 1. F prime of 0 is 0, so the whole term becomes 0. So I'm going to ignore it. F double prime of 0 we said is 1. And that would be x squared. 2 factorial is just 2. Okay. So the Taylor polynomial, the second degree, is 1 plus x squared over 2. And now we need to integrate this. So we have 1 plus x squared over 2 from 0 to 1. For this, in order to integrate, we're going to use the power rule. So the antiderivative of 1 is x. Antiderivative of x squared over 2 is x cubed over 6. We're going from 0 to 1. Plug in 1. I get 1 plus 1 over 6. If I plug in 0, I get 0. So add this up, my final answer is 7 over 6.